it doesn't matter, like, if somebody thinks that that's weird, that you're just like, woo, you know? Because that's what, like, a lot of them sound like.
And then you wake up and the next morning you're like, whoa, what is that?
No, most of the time you're like, that was awful. But every once in a while, like, you know, you're like,
okay,
there was something there.
Taylor Swift recently sat down for a special conversation at the Grammy Museum's Clive Davis Theatre, where she opened up about her music, songwriting, journey, career, and some of the experiences that have shaped her as an artist. The conversation also featured a special musical moment that fans definitely won't want to miss. So, what did Taylor have to say, and what happened when she took the stage? Watch this.
You were a writer with a great instinct for storytelling, and where did that come from?
I think storytelling was why music felt important to me. So in being drawn to that aspect of music, you know, I never turned to music to forget my human experience. I turned to music to remember it. And so in songwriting, there's always, I find myself drawn to consequences, stakes, and the passage of time, so we can see those decisions through. You know, I love an epilogue in a book. I'm always trying to see what happened at the end of the story. And oftentimes in a song, you love to stay in one moment, but especially early on in my songwriting, I'd love to just be like, and this is how it ended.
Jump around, yeah.
They got married.
Shocker.
She also addressed the criticism and negativity she has faced throughout her career, including people who mock her or complain about her music. She explained how she handles the noise, stays focused on her artistry, and continues creating music without letting her critics define her journey.
Like sometimes when people are mocking me, it's really fun to mock them back. Sometimes I like to just use words that they have to look up in order to talk shit about. But I go through several processes and coping mechanisms that I've gone through over the years, and one of them is saying, you chose this every day. You could have opted out of this any day before it got unmanageably big.
Taylor Swift also shared her thoughts on artistic freedom, emphasizing that musicians should be able to express themselves in whatever way feels authentic to them. Whether through personal experiences, storytelling, emotions, or unexpected inspiration, she believes artists should have the freedom to create without being pressured to fit into a particular box.
The way that I've chosen to kind of express myself as a lyricist has changed over the years, and there are times when, like, those contradictions will come up where fans will be like, I can't believe the same person who wrote this, because one will be very simplistic and silly, and one will be very, like, detailed and deep, and, like, we're doing tons of allegory, and we're just, like, in a whole other world of atmospheric, you know, speech. But I think that human contradiction is fun. I think that it's fun to make playful songs. I think it's fun to make songs that are desolate and lonely and just bedraggled lyrically as well. And that it's that human contradiction that I find interesting.
And she also spoke about how people tend to misinterpret her whenever she does or says something based on her thoughts, opinion.
It was a time in my life when, for the very first time, not the last, people had really actively tried to misunderstand me just in general, and to misunderstand what I was trying to say, and to purposely misinterpret it. And it felt very stifling as a person, as a human being. But ultimately, as a writer, it gave me this really, when I look back on it, this really sort of gnarled, like, bite when I would write my lyrics. Because I figured, like, okay, this is when I learned, like, when people are in, like, a hate frenzy about a public figure, or really anyone, like, it could be, like, you know, your daughter in her middle school class. Like, when people decide we're all gonna stand around someone and point and mock them, you can't respond with outward sincerity. Like, any attempts you make to explain yourself earnestly or sincerely will just be mocked even worse. And so it was an interesting challenge as a writer to say, what can you possibly say when everything you say is being returned to you in this sort of like distorted, like they just sort of overreact rather than react to anything that you say or do, any position you take.